Remember me. It's Åsa from Sweden, and I'm back. Yeah, I really hope that I'm back. It's been a month since last time, and that's totally ridiculous. I hope that never happens again, because that was never any of my plans. It's been a busy time in my life. I've been away on vacation together with hubby, and yeah, that took a while. Even though we were just away for a week, it still had to be planned a bit before, and I had lots of things to do. And then afterwards, there were just a lot of catching up to do. So I have been scrapbooking a bit, so I have a kind of a little pile of videos in pipeline, and hopefully I will be able to narrate a couple of those in the next couple of days, so that I can publish them in my normal schedule. A little bit about the layout here before I start talking about everything that's happened. I'm going to do a double piece spread, and I must admit that I struggled through this whole process. This was not easy for me, and that's really strange, because it started off with just the normal set of photos, perhaps a couple of less photos that I should have done a double piece normally, but anyway, I felt that they filled up the space pretty well. And then I started having problems right away, because I chose this border strip paper from Kaisercraft as the main theme for the page, and yeah, it gave me more problems than help, really. And but I stuck with the idea, and these things will more or less be on the page when it finishes. But yeah, it was a struggle, and therefore I have sped this video up ×8 in the larger portion of the time, because it just took ridiculously long time, and I even have omitted a couple of ways where I trailed off into just craziness. Those you won't even see. So this is a struggle, but I felt that having a longer video for the first time back since my break was pretty okay anyway. So hopefully it will be something to just have your eyes on while I'm just babbling away with things happening. These border strips, to start with, they were just one of a kind, and that caused me some trouble, because when you're making a double piece spread, you often want one element to go over to the other page, and I felt that some of these I could have cut up in two and just placed them in the middle, or on top of the middle at least, but it didn't work. I didn't like it. That rope there at the top was one of those that could have gone over the entire width of the page, but yeah, you will see that I will try all the different kinds of placements that I could possibly come up with, and I'm pretty pleased with how the page eventually turned out, but it was a struggle from the beginning, because I just wanted to go with this border strip paper. Anyway, hubby and we've gone on our first real vacation. We've been together for ages now, but this was the first time that we actually took a week off and went away. We've gone on, these kind of weekend trips before, just going to like Stockholm and have this massive schedule of things that we wanted to do while we were there. But this was completely different. We booked a trip to the Canary Islands. And the Canary Islands, for you living over there in the States, perhaps that's not a very known place. Here in Europe, it's the tourist place number one, especially during winter, when you if you want to go somewhere where it's fairly warm, you need to go a bit more south than the Mediterranean. So this is a group of islands situated towards the left or the west of the African north coast, and they belong to Spain, but they have some kind of tax-free zone from EU, European Union anyway. So, and they have a very nice tax system on the islands as well. So they don't pay a lot of taxes. So it's rather cheap to vacate there. They have vacation there, and it's a very nice climate. It was like a Swedish summer there, here in the middle of the winter, and beaches, palm trees, everything that you could possibly want to have on a tropic vacation, but still pretty close to home. And we went to the main island there. It's called Gran Canaria, and we stayed there for a week. We rented an apartment, a small one, in an apartment hotel, and we just relaxed for a whole week. We didn't do any major adventures at all. We just took walks. We had a big pile of books with us, and we read books. And I painted. I had my water paints with me, and I painted faces. That was my main goal for the trip, to explore if it was possible for an old dog to just learn how to paint faces. And then we had good food, we drank good wine, and we just had the most wonderful time that we could ever imagine. And no plans, for two people having kids and suddenly being away, having no musts or these things that are on schedule. That was pretty amazing, and it was eye-opening how little time we have for each other and for just the things that we enjoy doing. If I could have brought scrapbooking with me, perhaps I would have done that, but I felt that the plan that I had to just go with a watercolor box, it was really, really good, because then I could explore something that was fairly new to me, and that became my vacation. It was a learning process at the same time as it was just relaxation. Hubby, he read just book after book after book, and I was so, it was so wonderful to see him relax as well, and yeah, it was a lovely week. And I didn't bring my SDL camera. I just had the telephone and took my photos with the mobile camera, and that was just perfect. I got most wonderful photos, and I have already gotten the photos from the photo agency, and they are yeah, it will be a lot of palm trees in my videos in the near future. That's a promise. I have photographed pretty much every minute of her trip. My goal was to like just show it to her kids and have lots of photos for scrapbooking. And now when the photos arrived, I pretty much pre-planned every occasion that I want to make a page of, and it will be a lot of pages if I go through with that plan, perhaps 20 or 25, something like that. But I think that I will use these pocketed inserts just for these beautiful photos as well. So we'll see how that turns out. It will be fun to scrapbook a completely different environment for once. I feel sometimes that my photos are pretty much the same. At least they are from very similar places. So that will be something to look forward to here on my channel. If I should speak just a bit about what's happening on the screen. Now I have cropped the photos. I have completely changed the idea of the white background. I have gone for a little a place where I couldn't go further from, and I've come back. I actually stamped on these white pages that I started with, but I totally just took away that idea. I put it in the waste bin because that didn't look good. Now I have come back to a sand-colored cardstock base. I have decided on sand as my color, and I have cut up those lovely rope border strips and put them by my photos. And I have chosen two really nice like sand-colored borders from the Kaiserkraft border strip sheet, and I placed those at the bottom. And then I had a sand-colored seashell paper from a completely different collection that I made borders of and placed those to the edges of the project. The white strips that I have overlapped on these border strips was something of a thing that kept everything together really well. So they frame the project, and I like that. And now I'm going to embellish these pages a little bit with these cutouts from Karen Marie Clip. And this is a brand that I bought from the Panduro craft store, and it was ages ago when I started scrapbooking in 2005 or something like that. And they are laser cutouts, but they are still kept together with these small, tiny pieces, and then you cut those pieces off to get the die cut or the cutout. And they have a very nice marine theme, and I think that I've been saving them because they are so pretty, but at the same time they are starting to get a bit old, and suddenly my nostalgia for the product lessens a bit, so now it was much easier to cut those out and actually use them. And the ones that I've chosen are a couple of seabirds and some grass and a couple of boats as well. The photos of this project are from last summer, 2016, when we were on our yearly trip or annual trip to see my mother. And on the last day we went to this beach. It's a seaside camping beach resort, and it's just next to where my mom lives. And the kids were in the water, and we were just relaxing on the beach, and I took these beautiful photos of the sand and sea and sky. And the journaling of that I just wrote are about what happened on the beach, and the main thing that happened was that I stepped into a hole of mud that was just a couple of meters out from the actual shore, and I hurt my leg. I hurt my leg, or the skin on my leg, really bad, so it was blood everywhere, and I got a nasty scar, and that scar kind of stayed with me for the rest of the summer, and I still see it on my leg, because in that hole of mud that I stepped into, there were lots of sharp rocks as well, or stones, and they completely tore up my leg, and I was really mad. I remember I was in such a bad mood. It didn't hurt that I had to get stitches or anything like that, but the salt water into that wound, it got me into a horrible mood, and it was the last day of our stay, and I guess I was a bit homesick as well. So now when I look back at it, it's funny. But at the moment I was really, really mad, and I felt that I want to go home. This is just the final sign that this vacation is over. but now when it has passed a couple of months, it feels a lot better. Yeah, this is the final project, and I hope that you have enjoyed this process video with me, and I hope to make many more. Take care. This is Åsa. Bye.